everybody, to For the Love of Indy. And in today's episode, we're going to be discussing the Milwaukee Mile, which I did make it to, even though I probably almost didn't. Race weekend was almost ruined, and we survived it.
But you made it there, and you got to experience, I think, one of the best ovals of the season.
I think it was definitely a very surprising result for once, and it definitely showed a lot of why IndyCar can be interesting. When you're there, it's just a different perspective, though, I feel like. And I don't know if I had all the details going at all.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, being there, you get to see the whole thing all in one go, and there's no ads, so it's kind of nice. Yeah. I was like, wow, this is great. It's yellow flag, and I can see what's going on.
Yeah, I'm sure it was fun being there, and I got the experience of watching on Fox, so we both have a different story to tell, I guess.
Yeah, so obviously qualifying, let's see, who P1'd it? It was Palou.
Yes.
Which came out a whole mile an hour faster, which is just...
And Malukas was right there hanging on until the very end, and then when Palou went, he was definitely quicker, and then we're all thinking, oh no, just yet another Palou victory to add to his...
Here we go.
Here we go again.
Well, and it's like, oh, I'm at the race, which means, of course, Palou's going to win, because every single race I go to, Palou pretty much wins.
Odds are, definitely.
And it just... But it's also like, it was a whole mile an hour faster on the car, so it's like...
Yeah, which is big.
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once again, it's... So apparently they got their cars inspected, which I don't know if we talked about that at all.
No, not yet.
But there was a post-race full, 3D scan inspection.
Right, yeah, after Portland, right?
After Portland.
Yep.
But the teams were notified that one of their cars would get pulled.
Right.
And it was only 4 teams were notified.
Right.
And so Palou's car gets inspected, and it's inspected fine.
Right.
But also they had a whole weekend's notice to, if there is anything on any of these cars...
Yeah, to give them the car.
You just take them off for the weekend. And also Palou's Portland race, he didn't finish first.
True.
But once again, there's correlations not equal causation. But this weekend they roll out, and they're a whole mile an hour faster. I want a surprise inspection. You know what I mean?
If
they're gonna do it, a surprise inspection immediately after the race, impound the cars.
Yeah, I like that they did that. That's a good approach, I feel like. And so even though they were told ahead of time, it gives you a little bit more of credibility, I think.
It's a start. Yeah, it's definitely a start to hopefully what they roll out next year with their plans to be better about technical inspections and stuff.
For sure.
So yeah, I think we kind of had that coming in from Portland.
Okay.
Heard of Biff's lap, which was, of course...
I think he tries too hard sometimes, because you've seen him do that in other ovals where he just loses a corner and he's just pushing.
And it's happened multiple times. And it's rough as a Herta fan, but it is what it is.
It's a tougher year.
VK's car rolled off really fast.
Yeah.
Which sucks because the race strategy did not get him there, and it's just it's so brutal because it was so good until the last.
That was tough as a team because you really felt, there was a lot of opportunity for this race.
Yeah, and then we had a couple, I'd say, livery changes. The Miller livery was kind of cool in Abel's car.
For sure.
The number change, not that Abel did anything with that car. It was a very pretty car at the back of the grid, but it's kind of one of those...
Where it typically is in an oval, because Abel, with ovals... He hasn't really performed very well.
No, oval performance just hasn't been there at all this year, and it's hard to say that his performance on other courses has been better. But Iowa he beat VK out.
Yeah, that's true.
And so that was I think that was his best result of the year.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's kind of a hit or miss day usually. And again, next year we'll kind of see how DCR's lineup falls.
Yeah. You want to talk about the race itself, or do you want to talk about your experience as a fan going to Milwaukee?
Okay, I'll just start with going to Milwaukee. So I've never been to any major cities in Wisconsin. I've been to Wisconsin, but usually right across the Mississippi River at a pizza farm. Which is a weird Wisconsin thing. If you don't understand what a pizza farm is, look that up because it's kind of unique to that state.
Yeah.
And going to Milwaukee, from Iowa, you drive through Madison, so we pretty much went through all the Madison traffic, and then we went to Milwaukee.
Is crazy, yeah.
It doesn't feel like a port town, but it has the air of a port town. It kind of feels very like Duluth-esque, but
yeah,
from
really, really big.
Yeah, but much bigger and much more diversity in the city as well. You see a lot of different types of people, which is interesting and very cool to see that, especially up north. And it was kind of hard to really soak in the city much at all because we had a nightmare of a hotel situation pretty much hit us.
Yeah.
We were there on Saturday and we rolled out pretty much, it's a 5-hour drive, so the earliest we could have gotten, we pretty much got into the area around noon.
Okay.
It maybe could have given us enough time to potentially made it to qualifying, but pretty much we were expecting traffic, we were expecting snags, we were expecting some sort of delay, and we're like, well, we're just going to get there after quali, just watch quali on the phone and just try to listen to it and kind of see how that goes.
Sure.
And let's get checked in the hotel. It's just, and then we can go see Milwaukee. And so we roll up to the hotel at about noon or noon 15 or something like that. And somehow the booking got changed. The booking got changed without any notice to November. So that was cool. I don't know how Hilton decided to shadow change our booking without telling us and then screwing us.
So you actually had paperwork that showed that you had the booking.
Well, it didn't help that David deleted all of his emails with a paper trail that would have shown that.
Yeah, well, you couldn't retrieve that.
No, it's like, dude, because I'm very much the person that doesn't delete any emails.
Right.
And I don't, if I do, I sort them by which ones I've clicked on and read or not.
Right.
And David's more of the guy who deletes all of his emails to clear them out.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult for this very situation when
you don't have
evidence. Proof of, I have it booked to this day, I have it booked this day, I have it booked this day, I have it booked this day, and all of a sudden it's, you deleted all the proof and now it's, you're booked for November.
Yeah.
And because of IndyCar, because of there was an MLB game at the same time, and probably a couple other things. The state fair was kind of closing up, just because of everything else that goes on in that city besides IndyCar.
Right.
There was no hotels open. We did get a call into, and apologies for the squeaking. We have a new dog, and he's chewing on his chew toy.
His name is Indy, by the way.
I named him Indy.
Yeah.
And
he's adorable, but yeah, he's a little bit of a handful. So you might hear him in the background.
And we're trying to work with him, trying to figure out how he fits into everything right now. So, just so I don't
So you didn't have a hotel.
Yeah, so after we get screwed by Hilton, well, the best part is, I haven't even told you this part, the best part is we get screwed by Hilton, call around, one place says, okay, well, you should try the Super 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
And we're that's not great, but, literally anything under $200 a night, because literally the rates are immediately the bougie stuff is $300, everything else is at this point in the day, 170 is the cheap, and that's the crap. You know what I mean? It's fine, we'll just get the crap.
Yeah.
And at this point, pretty much, we go to the Super 8, and David books the Super 8, and he gives the card details over the phone like you would usually when you book a hotel. And the guy who was working there redeemed and stole his card information.
Oh no!
And immediately, tried to pull all the money from that he had on his credit line.
No, yeah, don't ever give your phone just say I'll show it to you when I get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
lesson learned.
His card was shut down for the rest of the weekend. So this is already on top of botched the hotel room. Now the second hotel room is skimmed the card.
Yeah.
And it's just because that was the whole nother element to it. When you're just stop, you can keep looking. It's no, we're just
the stress and the frustration.
We've been screwed. We've already been screwed on the second option. And all the other options are way too much money, and they start to become hour drives and these sorts of things where it's just we're we're going to go to this concert, and we're probably not going to make it to IndyCar because it's easier to eat the loss of the $60 a ticket each for the weekend pass that I bought.
Yeah.
Than it is to go and try to buy another hotel room.
Yeah.
And he's already the hotel room. You know, they're like, well, it was some special promo price, which means we probably won't be able to refund you. You know, so the hotel room's $220 just gone, and we're the $130 gone for IndyCar, and it's just like, okay, we're $300 cumulatively sunk right now. Another $300 on a hotel room.
Yeah, it's just frustrating.
Let's just drive home after the concert, and we'll get home at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
That was the plan originally. So we went to the concert, and it was awesome. We hung out in line with these guys we were there 2 hours early. I got all of my vinyls signed by his bandmates because we were there so early. And so we're chatting with these guys, and shout out to Carson especially, his good buddy Jacob, and Cody was also really chill. It was kind of those four plus me and David, or those three plus me and David, so the five of us were kind of hanging around and chatting and finding mutual interests outside of just the artist. And it was really cool to just kind of meet people and be friends, and hopefully they're listening to this episode because I told them I made them follow us on Spotify. So
good.
At least they can.
Hi, and thank you for helping them out.
Yeah, so obviously shout out to Carson and shout out to Jacob and Cody too. I don't know if he ever got the Spotify or anything, but they're all cool, really really cool guys. It's actually making friends with people like strangers in a situation like that is very uncommon, and I thought it was very Midwest kind of. So
yeah, that's good.
We go to the concert and we've had drinks, and it's like, oh geez, this drive back's gonna suck.
You can't drink and drive like that.
This is gonna be rough. That's Wisconsin special. But one of the guys was pretty much just Carson was like, I have 2 mattresses, and we could try to. I don't have blankets, but we can make it work. And we're like, at this point, dude, we're either driving back 5 hours right now, or sleeping in a car. So literally anything better than those 2 options we'll take. And it's kind of like, well, we talked to you for 3 hours now, so it seems like, and he was a smart guy, and he had a good job, and he was still going to school, and so it's clear that he was pretty chill. And so I get his address. I give you his address just in case I get murdered, and then the police are looking for me. You can at least have a starting point, because I listen to a lot of crime podcasts.
True crime podcasts.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to me in Milwaukee?
Just enough to know. I'm like, I don't know if I'm getting shivved in this or if this dude. And we get there, and the guy pulls the gun out of his drawer.
Oh my gosh!
And he's like, "You guys shoot, bro?" He pulls out his Glock, he unloads it and stuff, and he's like, "You want to look at my gun?" And we're like, "What?" I'm like, okay, this is I get respect to Ace, he showed us the gun, and then he unloaded the gun, and then he didn't load the gun back or anything, but it was all a lot at the same time. A lot was happening. It was very spooky, and we're just kind of like, let's see how this goes, you know what I mean?
So you got a place to stay.
And it worked out fine. Wake up in the morning, we get to go to IndyCar. Yeah. We go to IndyCar. We get there for the gates to open. And because literally gates open at 8, autographs at 9.
Right.
And we get there. They open. We're walking around trying to find where the autograph booth is because I don't know we don't know the layout because we weren't there the day before.
Yeah, and you didn't ask anybody, or there wasn't an info booth.
Well, we walk all the way down the back of the grandstand to find the one info booth because there's no info booth on the other side.
Man, that's crazy.
All the way down, and it's a cool vibe. Yeah. When they do say it's a venues, it is really cool. The grandstand's really, really steep.
Yeah.
It's really tall on the back.
Sure.
And then you have all of these small kind of different vibe, like a German restaurant and an Irish pub restaurant and all these types of restaurants. You have little booths that people are selling I got some really cheap Green Bay stuff, like $10 Green Bay shirt for Lexi, because she's a Green Bay fan. So it's like, here's something for, while I'm thinking about it, I'm like, it'd be cool to get that. So, and so there's little booths like that, and then there's like the IndyCar merch, and it does feel kind of state fair vibes, and there's a lot of food options. There's a lot of options like that. Right. It is a cool venue. Mm-hmm. Much more unique compared to like going to Newton, and Newton's like how well did they pack vendors into Newton? Yeah, this is built-in vendors, right. So every time there's going to be a bunch of stuff for people to go to, and it's busy. Yeah. We walk around 10 minutes, find the info stand, get to know where we need to go. It's not far from the info stand. Yeah. We get there, and the line is like already, it must have been like 200 people in front of us immediately. Well, yeah. I mean, it was...
Because people knew ahead of time, they got through and they went directly straight there.
I didn't know
where to go. And you guys didn't know.
But I mean, it's like we're like 10, 15 minutes behind the crowd. You know what I mean? And it's like...
Yeah, and it still wasn't...
Damn. So we wait basically, 45 minutes in this line. Right. And this one person behind us, some RLL media person came up and gave them a whole one of Graham Rahal's racing suits.
Oh my goodness!
Like they got this box. They're like, and the IndyCar like photo team's there. Wow. And like this RLL media person's there. Yeah. And there's like this box to this person, and they're wearing like a Foster jersey or something. Okay. And they open the box, and it's like one of his race suits. Wow. And it's like. Wow. How? Yeah, first off, what? What did you do to get that? Right. Did you win a giveaway? Have you been to every race? Does Graham Rahal like you? Right. How do you get gifted a jersey or the whole race suit? Right, like that's cool. Yeah. Cool. So DCR, if you're watching this,
DCR.
A VK race suit.
I know.
Really, really cool. I mean,
it could be a thing. It could.
Like we'll show up to the race next year, and anything like that.
Our last podcast, we predicted an upcoming livery, so we can make things happen just by saying them out loud.
Yeah, so I'm saying if you want to one up RLL, if you want to seem cooler than RLL. You bring the Mother Son podcast to a race next year. Yeah. Maybe throw in a little time with VK sort of thing. Let me know.
Some photo ops. We're all for it.
Yeah, you can reach out anywhere.
Some merch. Yeah.
It's not hard to find us. Anyways, we are far enough. We wait an hour for the line to start moving. Yeah. And I'm just trying to get my VK hat signed that I have that I've been wearing the last few episodes. I'm trying to get the VK hat signed. Yeah. That's really all I'm here for. Like, the other drivers in the line, it's kind of, whatever at this point. I'm like, just want to see VK and get my hat signed. Mm-hmm. And we wait pretty much another hour. And the line, we're like right on that bubble, like we were in St. Louis.
Yeah, that happened.
And how we snuck right in.
Yeah, well, you were like, I think in a different line than I was. And then you got in through part of yours, and then I didn't. Because they were going at different rates. Or whatever.
And I snuck in. Yeah. And this time around, it was the same American Legion booth. So it was set up the same as St. Louis, different than how Iowa does it, right? Yeah. And at St. Louis, we were able to just get right in there. Mm-hmm. And it really does, but this time it was just like, I got to the tent. Like, I was staring at VK. Yeah. I'm just like,
and you couldn't
go
any further.
This stinks. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I could, jump like 30 people right now, right? Yeah. I don't even care about the other drivers. Like, can I just walk through right to the VK spot and just talk to VK and then leave? Like, what do I got to do for that? You know what I mean? Like, and he stayed behind, like, even when all the other drivers go. He was like the last one to leave the signature line, which is, cool to see. Yeah. But it's also like, you know what I mean? If I was in that signature line, even, 30 people ahead, I definitely would have been able to get it in there. So it's kind of like 2 hours wasted, you know what I mean? And it's just like...
Yeah, that's frustrating. To get there early enough for gates to be open, and then not even get the autographs. Yeah. You got some cards, though. Right?
I did get the card because they left the card. They sign all their cards and then they just leave them.
Leave them on the table so you can.
And so I got through and I grabbed the cards and like people were trying to get Power and Newgard and stayed behind a little bit longer to do some extra ones. Yeah. But it was just a shame because there was a hope there. And to be fair though, at Saturday we were like there was going to be no race and no VK at all. So It's kind of like. It's fine, you know, and that was going to be the result for most of that anyways, but then there was that chance. So then we went and looked at garage passes day of, like how much are garage passes looking like? $45 each. Look over, David, it's $90 right now after kind of everything. We've been kind of spending money on the weekend of food and drinks and all that. It's just like, it's just not...
I feel like I read somewhere there was a way to get over to the garages without garage passes. I don't know who did it or how they did it, but...
Yeah, that would have been pretty interesting, because there was pretty much just a tunnel you had to walk underneath.
Yeah.
Underneath the grandstand, and that was the way in.
Right.
That I could see, so I don't know if there was a different tunnel.
Checking, or if there was a different way. I mean, at Iowa, there's a tunnel that you go through.
And then they check you like 3 times, too. And they're checking you a lot, Iowa, you know what I mean? So, it was just like, $90 to, like... go see it. Like I would like to, but at the same time, like $90 right now is just I'm not gonna with buying this house and stuff, like finances for both for me and David, because he had a little bit of a financial accounting error in his stuff, so both of us are kind of like just trying to get through the weekend.
Like
it's exactly. Just the money is not at this point.
I hear you.
Let's just see the race, Yeah. And so...
Did you watch the next race at all? Or
we did sit down for the next race. Okay. Because we had nothing else to do. We pretty much explored the place as far as we kind of could.
Right.
And the state fair was not operating at this point. That was... I thought that it was like... It kind of extended in. Yeah. But it's pretty much that like these couple vendors that are behind the grandstand stay.
Yeah.
And figuring out general admission was a little bit weird because there's nowhere that said general admission. I just kind of was like, hey, where are these at? And he's like, oh, yeah, you go up the main. Everyone goes up the grandstand.
Okay.
It's just, there's just different spots that you pretty much go. And the general admission spots are actually really good.
Yeah. That's good.
You literally do not have to pay any upcharge for your tickets at Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I think just a general admission ticket, it gets you the perfect view. That's good. It's very steep. So, like, I feel like Iowa's kind of a very standard grade of seating. Mm-hmm. Milwaukee is much steeper.
Okay.
But it does get you up higher.
Yeah, so then you get a good view.
We went as high as we could go.
Right.
And, you pretty much get a good view of
all 4
1, 2, and 4, and 3 is a little bit covered by the distance. Because it is a mile.
That's decent, though. Yeah.
But, it's kind of like... It's also weird in terms of size because... St. Louis definitely is bigger, but it's not by much. It's only a quarter of a mile.
Yeah.
And then Iowa's only 7/8 of a mile, so it's basically a mile.
Right.
And so this is like basically the same size as Iowa. It's just that the seating is way higher up.
Right.
It was interesting. It definitely was a little bit different. The number one worst thing about Milwaukee Mile, even though it's the oldest track in America, supposedly.
Yeah. Like 1903 or something, and one of the first...
If it's the oldest track in America, why does it not have a timing stand? There was 0 timing stands.
Oh.
So Iowa, you can look in the middle, and there's just the big tower with all the numbers on it.
Yeah, so how do you keep track of the race?
Squint at the TVs.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, really bad.
Or you have an app on your phone, maybe.
Oh, well,
that's always
been the worst part is my IndyCar app updated, and the update completely bricked the app.
Oh, no.
The update, it just crashed. You just boop, crash. Like,
weird.
So the app became useless. It wanted to update at the beginning of the weekend.
Yeah.
And I was going to listen to quality on the app.
Yeah.
Completely bricked it and made it just unstable and crashed every time.
Yeah.
So I was unable to use the app, which would have, because as soon as I sit down at this race, I'm like, where the hell is the timing stand? Wow, the app would be really nice right now.
Yeah.
The app would be spectacular to have.
Could you pull up? I know that Instagram had like an Instagram Live thing happening. I think I sent you the link.
You sent it to me, but like
at that not work because of the Wi-Fi.
It's just, I mean, at that point, I'm just like, whatever. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Have my phone out like the whole time, and my phone was at like 40%. And I'm like, I gotta use this to get home,
right? And
stuff like that. So it's just like I can't burn my battery on this race.
Yeah.
So like, and I do have the eyes. I have the eyesight, and we did move far enough to the right of of our seats,
yeah.
so that we could get the best. I could get the best angle on the screen, and
yeah.
but literally that slow scrolling bar that goes across was the only way I knew where drivers were.
That's so hard to. I know exactly what you're talking about when you're there and you're watching that scrolling bar and you're just trying to keep track, and
it sucked.
Yeah,
it was so bad, especially in pit stops. I'm like, where the hell did VK just land?
Yeah,
and then it'd be like scroll. You're trying to watch the race. You're trying to watch the scroll bar.
Right.
You know, and you're like, where did VK go in this pit stop?
Yeah.
And then he's like, he went from like, you know, P6 down to P14. You're like, what the fuck happened at pit stop? You know, and the pit stop.
Probably nothing bad for most of the pit stops, I think.
The pit stops, well, the nice thing is I watched all the pit stops.
Yeah.
And they all looked good except for the last one. I think they had a drop down and a drop back up, and then a drop down again.
Okay.
So that last one was easily another couple seconds slower. Yeah. And that's probably why he finished out of the top 10.
Yeah.
Could have been that last stop, but I also think there was a strategy issue.
Yeah. Did he get fresh tires at the 20
Yeah, he did he did the
because that was
everyone did that except for like basically the top 3.
Right.
It was this massive just dive into pits. Yeah. So yeah, it was, but it's just a timing tower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Really weird.
It was like the one thing I sent you those pictures of the track and I almost put in there like what's missing from this. I don't even know if you would have caught that.
Yeah, no,
from
probably
pictures.
Not. And how. That doesn't seem like it should be that expensive to put there. If it's been there for that long, why wouldn't you have it?
I feel like you need it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just super hard to watch the race on the little tiny screen.
Right.
And you're using, it's a scroll. I was very, very,
and if you've never been to a race in person, you're probably like, well, you know, you can keep track, but especially oval, when you don't know who's a lap up, who's a lap down, you know, where people are, who pitted, who didn't pit, and keeping track, you really need to know the order of things. And that timing tower, you can just glance at it and see, you know, top 10, and then like a lot of times they'll do the scrolling. Some of them have more like top 20.
Well, the hard part was seeing what lap are we on.
Yeah.
I'm like, it looks 140 something?
Yeah.
140 something.
Yeah, but you don't even know how many laps
are on. I don't know exactly how many laps are on. You know, so it definitely made the live viewing process very difficult.
Right.
And for me, who cares a lot about what's going on, it was really tough. David probably was just like, well, we're watching he was kind of, I told him, you know, watch VK, watch Herta,
right?
See where they do, and Herta had a great race.
Yeah.
Herta was a great watch tearing through the field. I mean, really just...
Yeah, he was really moving
it. Was actually impressive.
He was like the biggest mover the first half of the race.
Well, he got the biggest mover award.
Yeah.
And
that's good.
And it was really cool to watch, and just to see that car did have pace again.
Yeah.
And his old pace is back. It's just starting from the back there was not ideal.
It was just, he biffed it in quali.
I'm just shocked he didn't put it in the wall in quali.
Yeah, no, he actually got very lucky that he didn't.
But, yeah, it's and we left, and traffic getting out there was zero planning on traffic getting out.
Okay.
It was absolutely atrocious. It added 30 minutes.
Wow.
So like we would have been home at 9. We got back at 9:30.
Yeah.
Just because of the traffic, and there's no amount of speeding that offsets 30 minutes of traffic. So it's kind of like
you're leaving right away. So a lot of times when we leave from Iowa or wherever we're at, we're just like, you know what, we're gonna chill. We'll go down to the garage.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna see who's around. We're gonna take our time, and then we don't get that rush traffic where everyone's leaving right at the end. And this is a race where you can't leave early. You know, like it's...
Oh, no, this race you couldn't.
This race, you just wouldn't want to leave early, because, I mean, you do that sometimes, like a basketball game, if your team's 20 points up, you just leave early, you know, but this is like, no.
Yeah, this was just not one that could do that, and so it was, it was tough, you know, and so, we made it back, we made the weekend. Did it go as planned? No.
Not at all.
Did it...
but you still had fun.
Did it work out? It did work out.
Yeah,
and
I mean, you had some amazing stories to tell, you know, to the kids and the grandkids someday, or,
right.
you know, other friends and family when you're sitting around the campfire. Remember the time we went to Milwaukee the first time?
Yeah, I need to go back, because I just feel like I didn't get any of the city You know, I can tell you for a fact that the people in Milwaukee are great.
Yeah.
I can't really say much more on the city because I just didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
So.
Well, even when we went to St. Louis that time, we only saw one little snippet of St. Louis.
Right.
We didn't even get to venture around other than, you know, going up the Gateway Arch and going to the zoo for a few minutes. I mean...
Yeah. So it was tough. But anyways, going on to the race, I don't know if you want to maybe cover your side of things or maybe...
Yeah, I don't know, Fox. Once again, it was a little frustrating watching when you have the full commercials, keeping track, especially with an oval. I think it's like really having the pictures, side-by-side pictures, is really important for ovals. I don't know. I think the telemetry was okay. They were keeping track pretty well of where people were at. There were sometimes they did pit stop cameras and sometimes they didn't. So it was just hit or miss for that. It wasn't really consistent. I don't know. I think overall they were keeping track, and you know, I think it was like the Pelot show until it wasn't. And then when it wasn't, they were really excited in the booth. Right. And it was really fun to hear the announcers where you had just all of those people. And they did, you know, even when the three leads didn't change tires, I'm like, oh man, like that is going to come and bite them in the behind. Even Alex Pelot can save all the tires he wants. And he's the king and the pro at saving tire, right? Or saving fuel. But oh my gosh, like that strategy, and I think that like after the first couple laps, they knew that they had made a mistake, and then it was too late.
Yeah.
You can't go in then after that and pit after, you know, so yeah, it was really exciting.
Yeah, that ending was electric in the crowd. I mean, I've never been in a crowd of people who are like cumulatively cheering on. Mm-hmm. Like when Malukas passed Pelot, everyone's hyped. Pelot passes Malukas,
quiet.
Yeah. I'm not even kidding. Like the crowd was literally like there's the couple Pelot fans, you know, and everyone else was just like,
oh dang.
But when Rasmussen comes in at the end, and it's the most just fight into the front. I mean, it's oh my God, he's just passed another guy. Oh my God, he's like charging right now. Yeah. Oh my God, he's killed the gap so fast to Pelot.
Yeah.
It was like, where this car just woke up. Yeah. I mean, like, where did this car come from?
Yeah.
And as soon as he got the pass, when he was getting the pass, when he was close on the pass, everyone's like cheering, like like everyone is cheering. Just everyone. It is a whole packed stand. Of people cheering.
Yeah.
And then when he finally comes back around ahead, I mean, just a whole nother round. And then like, when he, finished a checkered, it was the most energy I've ever just seen at an IndyCar race. I mean, out of all of the Newton times we've gone and St. Louis, you always, like, this was, it's like everyone who was in the crowd, like, knew that this was, like, a big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This was a big deal. And what's fun is probably in that audience, there's maybe 100 people that have a Rasmussen jersey, if that, right? Yet everybody being on board, like, that's just so cool. I listened to the podcast today for Hitch and Rossi, and they finally interviewed Rasmussen, and just talking about those last 20 laps. And then I've watched, he had a really good interview with Will Buxton doing those last laps, and what was he thinking? And everyone's asking him, like, did you think you could win it? And he's like, no, that I wasn't thinking that. Like, I was just thinking about the race and passing the next person and, what was at hand in that moment. He wasn't thinking that far ahead. And I think that's part of why he was so successful, is because he was so in the moment.
Locked in.
He was locked in. He trusted himself. He could pass on the high line in the scariest situation that nobody else would do. Fearless. It was just fearless, and it was well-deserved.
100%. Yeah. I mean, it was just cool to, like, finally be at a race where, like, a truly, maybe not historical, but very memorable, very important moment for a driver to be at that, I feel like when we see it, it's always on TV.
Yeah.
And to like be there and hear, because you don't get to hear, you never hear the crowd on the thing.
You can't hear the crowd.
And to be there, and when they say like, like when you drive around the 500 for the first time, you'll hear the crowd.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's because that's a whole entire roundabout of the IMS is completely all the way around fans.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is that little, like a snippet of IMS. Mm-hmm. Really, like I can, when people say like the 500 experience is something completely else.
Right.
That snippet of Milwaukee, it's just like extrapolate that.
Yeah.
It's got to be the most insane thing. I mean, I think we really do have to at some point go to this.
It's on the list.
Yeah, like we gotta, I don't know, bump the priority or something. But like, because I just know like that first, when they go around in the pace car, and then they form up, like you just know that whole stadium.
Well, him doing donuts at the end too. I mean,
everyone was just off. Like nice. Everyone was up.
So it's his first victory, and it's the first Dutch driver also.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. To ever win an IndyCar. So that's super cool. And so hearing his story of how he got into driving and hearing about just that ovals just really started clicking for him.
Yeah.
And then kind of to hear, the last few races, people have been a little bit mad at him, and he has to go on Connor Daly's podcast because Connor always hosts the winner. And so they talked about that too. Yeah. And so he's like, it's fine. We agree to disagree, basically. We've already kind of talked it out. We're never going to agree about what happened with that race, but at Portland. But, just like some of the other drivers will say he's reckless, right?
Right.
So there's that fine line between reckless and fearless. And what do you see in Christian? And he just showed all the cards. He just put it all out on the table. And he's just like, I'm having none of this. and he just made it happen. He just willed it to happen.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
And everyone's on their feet for the last like 20 laps. You know what I mean? Because I mean, there's just a point where it's like, I can't sit down. There's so much happening right now. It was really, really, really cool. And there was a lot going on else in that race that I think is important.
Yeah.
But that was, we walked out of there and that was like, Polo still got second. Yeah. But man, I felt good about that. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, that was awesome. Like, finally leaving an IndyCar race where it's like, that was a good race.
That was fun. And then Rossi getting fourth. I mean, getting fifth in the last race and getting fourth in this race. I mean, he's just one step away from that podium. And to see the team both finish, in the top five or the the top four. I mean, Ed Carpenter Racing, way to go. Kudos to Ed Carpenter. Yeah. I should have my ECR hat on right now.
They woke up, these last few races.
Yeah.
And hopefully the next race they can carry that, and they can carry it in the next season. Yeah. You know what I mean? And hopefully that's not something that slows down for them, because they've looked good, and it's good to see Rossi get another solid result and be up there. And
it was scary for me when I was watching, and he was the first person to pit. I'm like, oh, Rossi, like no, and then
the undercut was working.
Started pitting, and the undercut worked, and Rossi they called it, and that was so good, and it was a really big thing in there that if you had enough fresh tires, and if you could put on fresh tires at all those yellows, I mean that's what did it. And Rasmussen even had a drive-through penalty. Did you know that?
No, I didn't even know that.
He had a drive-through, and so
these are things I missed.
He had a pit stop speeding. He was speeding in the pit stop, so he had a drive-through, and he still won the effing race.
Wow.
What on earth?
I didn't even know you had that.
Yeah, because when you're there, you don't get that. You would have to rewatch the race, or maybe watch the race highlights. It might be in there, but nuts.
Wow,
that's insane.
Yeah, so that was certainly a very intense, very fun race to watch. And it's like it worked out, for some drivers, and then I feel like also part of that race it just didn't work out. I'm glad that yellows fell kind of where I feel like the yellows fell in good spots.
Yeah.
They kind of all fell like right about around pit window, and it clearly the undercut was working this race. I know at the end you're like, oh, Rossi's going to get the third. And I'm like sitting here watching Rossi's pace, and I'm like,
he's not. I know. Well, I was hoping that he might. Well, because he got the new tires too, so I was just thinking, well, maybe he will.
Yeah. No, I was just watching.
Yeah, and I feel so bad for Malukas. I mean, the one person that I feel for is because he had so much opportunity and potential and starting in that front row, and you're just hoping that he's going to, finally get his win. I mean, I guess that was kind of what I was anticipating and hoping for.
Yeah.
To see him get that oval win because he's just really been a rock star on ovals. But hey, I'm fine with Rasmussen, doing that. So
yeah, I think Rasmussen and Malukas have probably been and Daly have been the standout.
Yeah, Daly too. His driving was just intense. I mean, the passing that they were doing. I'd love to see the stats on all of the passes that they made.
They had the most amount of passes last year.
Yeah.
That was a stat that they said, and I don't know about this year, though.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool, so.
Yeah, it was just kind of weird, though, how some drivers at that last pit interval, I mean, I think kind of where they, like VK lost out in that last pit interval, because, he was riding top 10 the whole time, and I'm like, yo, this top 10 is right here. Like, it's about to happen. Like, we're going to break that freaking record.
Yeah.
Like, here it is. Here we go.
You know.
And that last pit cycle comes through, and it almost makes me wonder, like, could they have stayed out at DCR? You know what I mean? Like, how bad were the tire? How long was the pit cycle for him?
It's hard to know.
Would that changed anything? And even if he was dropping, but I mean, seeing Armstrong at that one interval when he didn't change,
and then he fell back
like a stone. I literally thought, I'm like, did his engine fail? Yeah. I was like watching him fall so far. I'm like,
literally tires.
Is he having a mechanical failure?
Yeah, that was a big mistake on their on calling that because it was just literally tires.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, it was crazy to see that, and so I don't know. I mean, if that would have been the case, and he would have ended P15s, whatever it was, either way. It was just like so brutal to be in that top 10. And same with Herta. He got robbed too because Herta climbs up to 7 or 6.
I know. Yeah, he was at 6 for quite
a while. I'm looking
at
the timing card because I really don't know what's going on. Yeah. The timing card really made it hard to watch. I'm not because I'm just the scrolling. You know what I mean? I can't see instantaneous jumps. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, how the hell did Herta get in front of VK?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, what happened? Where did that happen? How did that happen?
Yeah.
And they're both in the top 10 still, so I'm like, man, it's fine. Just keep it right here. Just leave it right here. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good result for and Rossi's still up there too, and it's like, oh, great. Our drivers are all in the top 10.
Yeah.
And
happy times.
And then that last freaking cycle came through, and they both just sunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's like, what happened there? Was it did they overestimate the fuel needed maybe and the car was too heavy compared to other cars? Was it an extra turn of wing that was the wrong way?
Right.
It's just really unfortunate. You just saw a lot of drivers lose out on that. Even though they pit, they lost out big time on that last pit cycle. And that made her but then, the biggest winner was Rasmussen in that pit cycle. Clearly they those tires, and they must have changed something in the wing.
Well, they talked about it as a strategy pre-race, too, that if there was a really late yellow, they had more tires because, not going, I don't know why, but they had more tire with something with their practice. I don't remember what it was. But, so, yeah, they ended up really kind of planning for it. I mean, they were ready for that. They were like, we're going to pit and we're going to just get fresh tire. That's going to be our priority. And it really worked.
Right. Yeah. It was definitely interesting to see that, and also that car in person looked way more green than it did like whatever lime yellow thing it was supposed to look like. It looked green.
Yeah. The Splenda. I always think of Splenda as being very yellow, but it's kind of
It just I know like seeing the videos after the fact. I'm like, the camera like how Power's car is more pink than it is red. Same thing with the Splenda livery. It was way more. Also, the Connor Daly's livery is way lighter shade of purple than it seems like it's a dark purple.
Right.
Very light shade of purple.
Yeah.
Speaking of purple liveries, we predicted that All American Rejects were going to have a livery.
Yes. So go back to our last podcast, and we were talking about who would be the Sirius XM
sponsor.
Which band would it be? And I'm like, All American Rejects. You know, they've been at all these races. Tyson's been there. We totally see Tyson. And guess what? They're a sponsor. Not for the car we
not
thought.
For Rosenquist.
Not for SiriusXM, but for
Daily.
Yeah. And so we're super excited about that livery. And then the tequila livery, that's pretty cool. That looks
really slick on the 45.
The black and the gold, I mean, that's like really pretty looking.
I do like the Metallica livery. I'm not a Metallica guy, but the lightning, gosh, that does look really cool in person. Just like all that lightning stuff going on with that car. And I think that's all we've gotten for liveries so far, but really some really cool liveries here kind of at this last race. Other news in the racing world that it does apply to IndyCar. Valtteri will not be coming to IndyCar next year.
Against my 77 hat on for Valtteri.
So yeah, he today, if you want to put a date on when we were recording this, today got announced officially to be driving for Cadillac in Formula One. And same with Perez, which is hilarious because Perez is David's favorite driver, and Valtteri's my favorite driver from F1. Now they're teammates.
They're teammates for Cadillac.
Now we have a reason. We have a reason to watch.
Number 11, number 77. I feel like there's some synchronicity there with the numbers. I like that.
Yeah, I think it'll be, and I hope that somehow there's just a magic formula that Cadillac's put together to somehow not make a trash car. Yeah. But odds are it's going to be a trash car because it's a
we won't have our hopes up for it. We won't. We'll hope that they get better than last place. But it'll be fun to watch, and we'll definitely have to make it to an F1 race now next year because
they're both going to be
there, and
the expectations are very low, but I'm just excited about that because I'm a big Valtteri fan. So. Even though it's not IndyCar, it's kind of related because one day he'll show up in IndyCar. Yeah. I swear he probably will. Yeah. I can't see him not.
I think it's really impressive when you look at Perez and Bottas, their stats. They're doing a lot of showing in comparison. Bottas, hands down.
Oh, yeah. Way better.
Over Perez. So that's kind of fun. I mean, I think part of it is because of all those years driving with Lewis and being the number two, and they're both number twos, and so they're kind of teasing them both about number two, who actually gets to be number two, but they want to be equals, and so it'll be fun though. I'm excited for F1 next year and pulling out all the VB merch that we have, all the 77.
We're so back.
I know, we're so back.
Well, we'll definitely try to do an F1 next year for sure, because now I actually have a reason to watch the race all the way through and not just like skim through it because I don't really care about any of the drivers in F1 right now. So
it's gonna be.
We'll have some episodes for that if you're an F1 fan or you're interested in F1. I know we are an IndyCar podcast, and that will be the focus, but just putting that out there. Otherwise, I feel like, is there anything else from that race? I feel like that. It was a big one for that.
There's a lot, but I mean, we can call it that, and then we can just give our predictions for the last race of the season for Nashville.
I'm going to say finally Pelot gets wrecked out of another race, maybe.
Ooh, okay.
Because it's just not happened yet. Or number 10 crew slow stop finally.
I know. Yeah, less than 7 seconds. I mean, they're they have the best pit stops ever.
Regardless, Pelot will be out of the running in my prediction.
Okay.
And we will put. I want to say Herta comes, runs it back. I don't know if with a win, but he'll run it back.
Okay.
For a podium, and Rossi will be up there somehow. Maybe ECR figures his car out a little bit better for this race, and McLaughlin, I guess, just to throw a Penske in there because it's an oval, and VK will get his top 10.
Yes. That's what we really want, right? Is for VK to get the top 10. So we're cheering you on, VK. I would say my podium, I'd like to see it. We'll put Herta and Rossi also, but Malukas would be the other person.
Yeah, I wanted to put him up there, but he's just not had the luck for me.
I feel like, he's pushing and given the opportunity, I'm fine. If Rasmussen's up there again, I'm all for it. I would be happy to see him keep running at this level at the very end of the season, because that gives a lot of hope and inspiration for ECR and the team. So, I mean, one of the two has to be on the podium for ECR. I just really want that. I want an Andretti driver up there also to finish the season. And then whoever the third one, I don't know. And even if Daly got up there, I'd be fine with that too.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, he needs a reward.
Oh, and especially with that livery. I mean, come on, All-American rejects.
That would be pretty
Tyson,
good.
Shout out to him. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think, and hopefully the Fox coverage is interesting and good for the last race.
Yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll watch it on TV and see how it goes from that viewpoint. And if you get to go to Nashville, have fun, have an amazing time. We're jealous. We'd love to be there. You're moving into a new house this weekend, so we've got stuff to do.
I got a lot of work to do now. So, hopefully this last episode that covers Nashville for the season, we can get that out on a decent time frame as well.
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna have to play that one a little bit by year, and then we'll have a probably kind of middle of the off season, maybe a season review, or a couple weeks after some sort of season review, and that will be the first season for the Love of Indy.
I know, for the Love of Indy.
Wrapped
Here
up.
we are. We're gonna do a wrap after next week, and we'll keep going next year, because
might as well.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
And maybe even sprinkle in some F1 podcasts, or even have a separate one, or add it on. I don't know. So we'll figure it out.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah. We'll figure it all out. But at the end of the day, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you're on Spotify, awesome. Shout out to the guys in Wisconsin again. And, like, subscribe, share, get this podcast out there. Like, anyone seeing this stuff is cool.
And if my students are watching, you can get extra credit by putting IndyCar at the end of one of your homework assignments.
Yeah, if you tell them about this.
No, I did. One of my classes, I told them that we do a podcast together, and so maybe they'll do that. Maybe they're watching.
That'd be funny. Easy points.
Easy points.
All right, well, anyways, thanks everyone for watching. At the end of the day, we are just doing this podcast for the love of Indy.
Thanks for being here. Bye.